Yo, South Africa, let's talk about getting around, but not in the usual way. We're diving into the world of non-motorized transport, or NMT. Think bikes, walking, wheelchairs, even those cool skateboards you see kids doing tricks on. It's about ditching the fumes and embracing human-powered movement. Now, you might be thinking, Trevor, this is South Africa, not Amsterdam, and you'd be right, but here's the thing. NMT is more than just a trendy way to commute. It's about creating healthier, more sustainable cities. It's about giving everyone a chance to move freely, regardless of their income or ability. Think about it. Less traffic means less pollution. More people walking or cycling means healthier citizens and less strain on our healthcare system. Plus, it just makes our cities more lively and enjoyable. But here's the catch. We need the right policies and laws to make NMT safe and accessible for everyone. And that's where this whole essay comes in. Buckle up, because we're about to navigate the ins and outs of South Africa's NMT landscape. All right, let's get serious for a minute. Before we dive into the nitty-gritty of specific laws, we've got to start with the big kahuna, the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, 1996. Now, this document is basically the rule book for the whole country. It lays down some fundamental rights, and guess what? The right to an environment that's not harmful to our health and well-being is right there in black and white. That's where NMT comes in. By promoting cleaner modes of transport, we're essentially upholding this constitutional right. It's about creating a South Africa where everyone can breathe easy and live in a healthy environment. But it doesn't stop there. The Constitution also talks about equality and dignity for all. This means ensuring that everyone has access to safe and reliable transport, regardless of whether they can afford a car. NMT plays a crucial role in achieving this vision of an inclusive South Africa. Now, let's move on to the White Paper on National Transport Policy from 1996. This document is like the government's blueprint for the transport sector. It recognizes the importance of moving away from our car-centric culture and embracing more sustainable options like NMT. It sets the stage for a future where walking and cycling are not just afterthoughts, but integral parts of our transportation system. All right, so we've got the Constitution and the White Paper setting the stage for a more NMT-friendly South Africa. Now, let's zoom in on some specific strategies and action plans. First up, we have the National Land Transport Strategic Framework, drafted in 2015. This document is all about creating a transport system that's safe, efficient, and equitable. It emphasizes the need for integrated planning, meaning NMT should be seamlessly woven into the broader transport network. Then there's the Public Transport Strategy and Action Plan from 2007. For NMT to be effective, it needs to connect with other forms of public transport. Imagine hopping off a train and seamlessly continuing your journey on a bike path. That's the kind of integrated system we're aiming for. And let's not forget our rural communities. The Rural Transport Strategy for South Africa, also from 2007, recognizes the unique challenges faced by people in these areas. It highlights the importance of providing safe and affordable transport options for them to access essential services. NMT has a big role to play here. Section 4 legislation for safer and accessible NMT. Now let's talk laws, because without them, all these fancy strategies and plans are just words on paper. South Africa has legislation aimed at making NMT safer and more accessible. The National Land Transport Act of 2009 mandates integrated transport plans with NMT as a key part. Cities must consider walking and cycling in their transport systems. The National Road Traffic Act of 1996 sets rules for everyone, including cyclists and pedestrians. It covers helmet laws and sidewalk use to keep everyone safe. The National Building Regulations ensure buildings and public spaces are accessible to people with disabilities. This includes ramps, elevators, and accessible toilets for a more inclusive NMT environment. And let's not forget about accessibility. The National Building Regulations and Building Standards Act of 1977 might sound like a mouthful, but it's crucial for ensuring that buildings and public spaces are accessible to people with disabilities. This includes things like ramps, elevators, and accessible toilets, all of which contribute to a more inclusive NMT environment. This includes things like ramps, elevators, and accessible toilets, all of which contribute to a more inclusive NMT environment.